in green face masks and hoodies. I just been having a beautiful birthday. So I didn't bother to tell y'all that they sent me a milk chocolate white penis. That's what people think about us. And I think it was a black person who sent me the milk chocolate white penis. It could have been a white person, but I think it was a black person. That is what they do to your revolutionaries, brothers and sisters. So y'all got to support me. Y'all got to stand by me because I'm out here by myself. I don't have a lot of people behind me, brothers and sisters. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I don't have a lot of family behind me. I don't have a lot of friends behind me. I don't have a lot of colleagues behind me. I got people, everywhere who trying to tear me down, spread rumors about me, assassinate my character.
Peace. Smash that like. Smash that like. Shout out to King Kong Crazy. Now let's get right into it. Umar Johnson is a con man. Some say he's a druggie, maybe some say narcissistic, quixotic. If you're a major dick-riding Umarian, you probably call him Baba, King, Teacher. And I know that labeling someone a con man, we're going scorched earth here. We're kind of we're really attacking the soul of a person's character. But after this latest meltdown, this time with Lord Jamar, what's left here? But is this just another run to add to the list of meltdowns by this dude? There's the pull-up team meltdown, the doxing meltdown, the constant bullying of women, by the way, because whenever he bucks up with men, it's a different story. But with women, even Vicky Dillard, even in a way with Rod Digger, the messy room nonsense, the Kobe conspiracy when the dude not even in the casket yet, the Biden alignment. What happened to Pan-Africanism? Now you're aligning with Democrats? They're calling to murder all black boys, and some coons even agree with this nonsense. The smoking that weed, or it looks like, and begging for cookies. Even if he's doing that, who cares? But you can't keep that under wraps, and you're trying to portray this image that you're going to teach the kids? The milk chocolate penis controversy. Listen. First of all, how would you know it was a milk chocolate or white penis unless you A, opened it, B, touched it, C, sized it up, or heaven forbid, you ate it? All right? You get a package, just think about it, you get a package shaped like a penis, are you even going to admit that to the world? But I guess he's the most requested scholar. It's like the Tootsie Pop mystery. You're the most requested scholar. I guess he has the keys to unlocking these type of mysteries, right? So let's get to the Lord Jamar and Rod Digger interview. This goofy starts off with the question of raising money for the school. And he says the idea started when he was in college, and right then and there, Lord Jamar should have said, what college? Then he said he was an assistant principal. Again, where? Then he said he's the principal. Where? What school did you run? Then he says he's a school psychologist. Where? See, if you're the most requested, people would know. That would be out there already, but obviously it didn't come out. You can't take what Umar says seriously at this point. And this is where Jamar should have done a little bit of research. Because see, if you've done all these things, your successes would come out and they would laud what you've done. It shouldn't be a secret. So if you've helped someone, they'd let the world know. Then came up, why is it taking so long? Where's the transparency? And then comes the deflections, and nobody's telling Umar to show his financials. It's like when you give money to a church isn't going to show you their financials, but they're going to show you what they've done. Right? But when you hear one number and then you see the results of that number, obviously something doesn't register with what he's doing. Then he says, I'm only transparent to the donors. Again, more bullshit. Just case in point, think of the places that you've donated to. When have they shown you their books? But they've shown you what they've done. And for 2 years, this guy hasn't even changed a sign in his school. Anytime he's on live, his donors, his so-called followers, he has a block party. He blocks them. Then he says the donors have access. More bullshit. Because the truth is, his biggest critics are former donors. Then he says he has repeat donors. He has lawyers and engineers. If he has all these big time people, how come they're not throwing out references? No one's endorsed this. And then he says, I mean, I'm trying to keep up with all the lies here. He says haters don't donate. That's a lie. Because you can grow on a person and a hater can eventually come to you. Case in point, I always hated Fat Joe. When Fat Joe first came out with Flo Joe, I thought that was whack. Then his second album came out, I didn't even pay attention to it because of the first album. Then his third album, Don Cardiana, came out. It was more mainstream. It was more, he had a collab with Puffy. He had one song on there, a collab called Terror Squadrons, where Big Pun ripped it. And then he had something else where he had Nas and that was actually Pun's album, but he had a bunch of bangers in that album. I went out and I bought this album after being a hater for 2 albums prior, and I bought his next album. People can grow on you. You have it. I mean, you've known artists that suck. Like, let's say some people like Mary J. Blige or Keith Sweat, who you say they can't sing, but they put out good music. And that's what Fat Joe started doing. But what really burned me about this interview, this cocksucker blames black folks for the failure of this ghetto canyon if this shit doesn't pop off. Umar Johnson hates black people. Besides being a con man, it is obvious. Then he says, we're not used to building with black dollars. Did I tell you this man hates black people? That's more bullshit. That's slander. Look at any church. Look at the NOI. Look at Black Wall Street. And then here's the switch up. Well, we're not a charter school. We don't take white handouts, and we're not for government funding. Okay. All right, cool. Why is it that after all this time you couldn't find a bunch of black millionaires to slip your money? See, this is the card trick that this guy does. And he'll probably say, well, look, they don't want to be associated with me. Well, hold up, bro. People can be silent partners. People can can brown bag you the money or slip your money behind closed door. But you know that no one's going to come near this shit show. You can find 100 black millionaires to give you 50,000 or 10,000 or something. They're not going near this because they know it's bullshit. No one's more critiqued than Jordan, and people still buy Jordan shoes, right? So it has nothing to do with the fact that you're criticized. It's just that they know that this is a scam. And then he has the nerve to say, well, this is going to take as long as it takes. But see, this is why this is a scam. He's saying that because he knows that bando is never going to be built. But it's going to stay deteriorating. The more it deteriorates, the more money is going to need to fix it. Which is why he'll ask for more money, because it will legitimately need more money. Then he goes through the black shaming. You spend millions of dollars on Quaker Oats and millions of dollars on Yankees. Aren't we done with this already? Aren't we caught up to these tactics already? Then he says he has a track record. You got no track record. And then when he's asked what he's doing, here's another kicker. There's just so much with this. He's asked, what are you doing with the money that you have left? Because he throughout the interview, he said how he only got this building for $400,000. It was a steal. And he mentioned the $750,000, which means you got $350,000 left. Right? So what does this fool do? Instead of saying what he's going to do with the money, he says, well, Jamar, what did I do when you asked me that? I gave you my cash app for donations. So he asked for more donations. Not what I'm going to do or this is what I'm doing with the other money. He asked for more donations. And then he's talking about, well, we got to pay for security. You saw the security. What, Leon? We got to pay for repairs. Dude, you can't even buy a freaking lock. And the tax bill hasn't been touched. See, again, I guess Jamar just didn't ask the question because an interviewer would have pounded this dude. Why would you buy something that you know you cannot afford? Right now, I have the credit where I can probably go out and buy a Maserati or a Ferrari. But why would I buy that knowing that I probably can't even afford to keep up with it? A tire probably costs like $500 for one of those things. And then the most requested man on the planet blames YouTube coons and trolls. Bro, what if you're so requested throughout the planet? Why would a couple of trolls hurt you? Nobody is more pounded on this planet than Donald Trump, and for good reason. For good reason. He doesn't allow the trolls online to stop him from doing his bullshit. See, Jamar, he just wasn't catching everything. Early on, Umar said that it cost $13 million to build this, to fix up this school 9 years ago. 9 years. How much has happened over 9 years? Oh yeah, this has become a weed and seed community. So Jamar brings up a school called the Trey Whitfield School. This school, now Umar is always talking about, nah, I don't want to do anything with the government. I don't want to do anything, through a charter school. I don't want to do that. Well, Jamar just happens to be married to a woman whose father started what's called the Trey Whitfield School. I see these advertisements. If you drive in Brooklyn, down Atlantic Avenue, you see the advertisement with the Trey Whitfield School. Trey Whitfield School was actually built out of tragedy where the guy Trey Whitfield, he drowned at 18 trying to save his friend. So I guess his father, and you can go to his website and read up the story, his father built this school out of his son's passing, and it started off, from what Lord Jamar said, with 3 trailers and about 200 students. And he built it up from there. And from that point, I guess Umar seen that what he's saying is a lot of bullshit, so all of a sudden he goes on the attack. He becomes King Kong consciousness, as he claims. And obviously Ra started feeling the energy, and Jamar, who has a temper himself, he just stayed calm throughout the whole thing, but which was the right thing to do because Umar played himself yet again. Umar said, nah, this is a totally different concept. How is it a totally different concept when you just said that you don't want government help, you just want to do it from the ground up? This is what this man did with this Trey Whitfield School. Then he says, well, I don't need any help from anybody. Why would you not get help from someone who did it themselves? He says there's certain fact. He starts bringing up how there are city schools that he knows that took 10 years to open. But see, he doesn't talk about the factors, the economics, the politics that may be behind it. There are 101 reasons why maybe a school sits there and doesn't open. And a lot of it has to do with politics, but he doesn't want to go through that. Then he actually goes in on Lord Jamar's father-in-law. And he's telling me that he starts saying that, well, I got friends who own schools. Well, name them. I would have said name them. Name the school that your friends have. But he wouldn't do that. Then he said he won't go to a bank. Of course, no bank is going to approve your bum ass. But then he says, I'm not interested in people, which you need to help you do this. He's interested in donations. The man tells you that all he wants is fucking money. Then, and let's just get into it, the supposed Lenin honor scandal. Folks, I'm not going to get into how ridiculous and how slanderous this is. I don't know Lenin personally, all right? He seems like a good guy, but here's what I know. Scandals like this have legs, all right? You want to see a YouTube scandal? Type in woke progressive. The so-called Lenin honor scandal, that's some troll put that out there last, I guess, Friday night, Saturday morning. Interestingly enough, Lennon did his sheer on Saturday, he addressed it. I believe he addressed it yet again on Sunday, right? But you haven't heard anything about this since. Meanwhile, the woke progressive scandal, that started on Tuesday. Type that in, and that thing ran. Scandals like this have legs. The woke progressive scandal opened on Tuesday. By Thursday, all of Blackistan on YouTube started talking about it. Pulling out photos, videos, pictures. Woke progressive had to come out himself to speak on it. Tons of scandals happen like this. Phil from the Advice Store had a scandal. He had to come out and speak on it. Sinji had a scandal. She had to come out. Then Robert Perkins had to come out and speak on it. Boyce Watkins had a scandal. A couple days later, he had to speak on it. So I'm not going to sit here and talk about the nonsensical, the scandal where this dude was so stupid. He went ahead and savaged Monty as well with another scandal because Monty wouldn't go down with it. So that's all I got to say on that. But if you really want to get into some scandal, why not? Or not a scandal, but if you really want to get into the meat of what's going on here, how about ask Umar about Terrence Bailey, who's actually related to Frederick Douglass, who Umar will not see. Umar, the more that I see it, he's like a colonizer in blackface. Whenever you mention him, there's division and separating throughout the black community. He steals identities, and he has black people getting at each other's throat. This dude is like a colonizer. And some of you are so degenerate, you actually tried to make Terrence Bailey into a quote-unquote agent while sticking up for Umar. Another thing came out of this, and this one was funny. You know, while Lord Jamar was having the show, right? Some clown was recording Lord Jamar's show. And he recorded the video and he recorded the sound and everything. Lord Jamar caught wind of it right away and he threw a copy strike at this dude. All right? Now, Lord Jamar, understand something. Lord Jamar just walked away from one of the biggest platforms on YouTube in DJ Vlad. Literally spit in his face and disassociated himself with DJ Vlad, who has like 4,000 or 5,000 members and gets millions and millions of hits. So when you do that, you're going to have to come out yourself and you're going to have to build from the ground up, which is what Lord Jamar had to do. So this is why you see Lord Jamar doing, video after video and interview after interview. He's trying to build up his site. He has over 100,000 members right now. So obviously this guy got a family to take care of. I don't know what his other finances are. I'm sure, probably gets royalties and stuff. But this is another source of income. He's going to allow some bum nigga to come on and take his stuff. This dude, he actually got mad at Lord Jamar and said, gee, Lord Jamar, I thought you were for the people. But this is the same dude who rides Tariq's coattails. So stupid. If Tariq if you did that to Tariq, he'd call you a dusty nigga. So you're doing these dusty tactics. Now I heard this dude saying, well, I'm going to do an exposed thing on Lord Jamar, because obviously he's on Umar's dick a little bit more. You see. And what's so foolish about this is that Umar could have had a friend in Jamar. Because Umar attacked other people for being LGBT. And Jamar, if you know anything about him, he has a zero tolerance for the alphabet community. Zero tolerance. If Umar went on there and just calmly stated his case and calmly stated who's after him, Lord Jamar would have went behind him. But now, any sensible person could see that Umar's crazy and Lord Jamar cut up his stuff, and now this is all about hits for him. He's going to put it out because he wants to get the hits. See, Umar, as you can see, he bullies people who he thinks he can talk over. But now, especially when you look at the Roland Martin interview, you notice Roland Martin looks pretty good now. Because Roland Martin, whether you like him or not, Roland Martin stood toe to toe with Umar and steered him eyeball to eyeball. All right? You dudes, listen, Umar, man, to the Umarians out there, you're idiots. Y'all are looking really jacked up right now. I was on King Khan Crazy's live stream, and one of this other chick, I'm not even going to mention this chick's name. This chick is an idiot. She gets on there and talks about, well, Umar's only had this for 18 months. See, you gotta, these people are telling as many lies as Umar. It's not 18 months. It's 20 months and counting. Remember when the pandemic started? Now it's election day, isn't it? Time moves fast, does it not? It's gonna be election day in less than 30 days. Then Thanksgiving. Soon Christmas is coming. Huh? But I'm waiting for the date of January 1st, 2021. Because Umar said that that's when the school's supposed to open. Huh? He just pushed the date back. So now, Lennon Honor, who been on this and showed you how it's supposed to open in 2010, 2011, 2013. Then last year he said, I'm going to open it up in August 2019. Now this year, 2020, now he's pushing it again. So now Lennon Honor is looking like a genius. So you can sit there and keep following this con man if you want. All right? And you, Umar, see, notice how with the people who are coming after Umar, they can get together on a panel. Why can't you get together on a panel with Umar? Why all of you dudes, how come you all can't get on a Zoom panel with Umar and suck his dick for an hour or 2 hours so he can clear his name? You can't do that because he knows that he's not on the up and up. You're afraid you're going to ask him the wrong question. Well, you ask me the same questions over and over. Yeah, because there's a new audience. It's like if you're a singer and you're promoting a new song. And every station you go to, what's the song about? What's the song about? What's the song about? Tell us about the song. That's how it works. So this fool now, he has, what is it? The Umar FBI squad. So you're going to use a moniker from a group, from an organization that has killed and conspired against how many black folks? Didn't I tell you that this nigga hates black people? Mr. Pan-Africanism, Mr. Marcus Garvey is going to use a moniker from the FBI. And of course he's asking for dollars, $50 here, $75, $100. I mean, come on, bro. Listen, I don't care about the Umarians. I've said it before, I'm waiting for this thing. I'm waiting for this shitstorm to end. And I cannot wait till it crashes and burns. And Umar, just for stealing Terrence Bailey's identity, you deserve to go to fucking jail. But you know what? Jail, I'm finding, is too good for your con ass. I want total and complete embarrassment of you. Total embarrassment. Total embarrassment. People ask you the same questions because you have a new audience. Lord Jamar was a new audience for you and you fucked it up. So eventually, bro, this is going to, I've said it before, this is going to come to a landing pretty soon. And you're going to have to stop all the bullshit. And to the Umarians, I don't give a fuck about you. This is about new people who don't know about you, to let them know that this guy is a con man. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out of here. Big up on yourself.